serving, and congratulations to you and your families for the nominations. I'm going to start with a very simple question that I've been asking every nominee. If directed by the president to take action that would break the law, would you follow the law or follow the president's directive? Mr. Kimmit.
I don't see how that hypothetical would unfold, but I absolutely am committed to following the law.
Mr. Kies.
I would provide the exact same answer.
So you both are serious and talented people, and that's a really disappointing answer. Because, of course, it is possible that this president will do that. He has shown us example after example. And I'm just going to say, on a personal level, Mr. Kimmit, you talked about needing to be rooted in American values. The rule of law is absolutely essential, not only for who we are as a people and internationally and around the world, but for our economy and our business people. And I want to know that any nominee on either side of the aisle working for any president will acknowledge reality and willing to either quit or be fired if asked to break the law by their boss. So I hope you will consider that. That was just a disappointing answer to me because, of course, there are lots of examples of this president crossing the line in all sorts of ways. So, Mr. Kimmit, after it became clear that the president's historic tax increase through tariffs threatened the global economic standing of the United States, he reversed course and paused some of his tariffs for now. But let's be clear, the president has imposed a 10% across-the-board national sales tax on Americans through his 10% tariff on all imports, and that sales tax is still in effect. American families will pay more for groceries and other essentials due to the new 10% national sales tax, while wondering how much the president may further increase their costs with more tariffs in 3 months. Mr. Kimmit, if confirmed, you would be the primary trade advisor to the Commerce Secretary, and you would lead the U.S. International Trade Administration. Experts consider the president's tariffs the largest tax increase in over half a century, a tax increase that will increase costs for families by about $3,800 a year. So, Mr. Kimmit, first question, are tariffs taxes?
Thank you for the question. Respectfully, I think that oversimplifies what a tariff accomplishes, and I think tariffs have multiple strategic uses, including leveling the playing field against unfair trade practices, and that's what the Enforcement and Compliance Division does to offset dumping and countervailing duties.
Well, I'm going to cut you off now just because my time is limited. It is disappointing that you won't admit that tariff increases are tax increases. That's how they're going to feel to families who are expected to pay an additional $3,800 a year for groceries and other essentials. The official definition of tariffs from the International Trade Administration, which you would lead if you are confirmed, says on its website that tariffs are taxes. Specifically, it says that, quote, a tariff or duty is a tax levied by governments on the value, including freight and insurance, of imported products. So is that official definition now wrong just because President Trump has decided to impose an across-the-board national sales tax?
Respectfully, Senator, I have not seen the specific statement or the context of it.
Well, so just to save us both time here, without objection, this is a hard copy of the website of the agency that you're about to lead, and it is what I quoted from, and I'd like this introduced into the record.
So ordered.
Mr. Kies, you are nominated to be the Assistant Treasury Secretary for Tax Policy. Will giving tax breaks to billionaires increase or decrease the national debt?
So it's kind of difficult to answer that question because I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to. But if you're referring to whether extending the existing tax provisions,
I'm just asking a very simple question. If you give tax breaks to billionaires, so they're not going to pay as much taxes now, does that increase or decrease the national debt?
So in order to be able to provide a sound answer to that, I'd really need to understand the specifics of what proposal you're referring to.
Well, I can tell you how the CBO would score it, right? But look, the Congressional Budget Office, our official nonpartisan scorekeeper, says that the Republican tax plan would add $37 trillion to the national debt. That's the CBO. That's our nonpartisan scoring entity. That's more debt in the next 30 years than our country has taken on in the 249 years since its founding. So I'm disappointed in the answer. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank my colleague. For the senators that are here, it goes Whitehouse, Cassidy, Langford. Senator Whitehouse.
Thanks very much.